get cracking! Going to say welcome everybody here to your broadcast of the Dota 2 Champions League. I'm your host, TobiWan, bringing you our best of 3 series for tonight, and we're going to go full Russian again. There's a lot of great Russian teams coming into this whole competition. If you haven't checked the details of that competition out, then obviously you've been living under a rock, because everybody knows about the Dota 2 Champions League. At d2cl.org is the place where you can follow all the action, as well as also going to the partner websites too, which is like Dota2lounge.com, where we'll be giving out a couple more rares this evening here on the live stream. So definitely stay tuned for that one. You need to know Dota2lounge.com/giveaways in order to claim your prize from there. For now though, let's get ourselves into the game, peoples, because that's what you came here for, not to hear me waffle on. And we'll have VP over on the Dire side, PR over on the Radiant side, and joining me on my side is my co-caster, the man with a fixed up microphone, so now everyone can enjoy his wonderful insight, and it is Sneyking. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hello and thank you. And yeah, I didn't know about the microphone thing until I saw Reddit, which was kind of outrageous.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to hear about something that's going wrong, Reddit's normally the place to find it.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, but we worked it out, man. We worked it out. We're all good to go now. So, VP versus PR. Just before we start talking about the draft, man, expectations for tonight from both these teams. What do you have?
I personally think PR is a very strong team, despite how many people think of them. And I've seen them scrim before, and they can easily take games off of Na'Vi Alliance and other big names. So I think this will go to a 3-game series, if anything. And I think PR might even be able to take it, but I think it'll be very close to 1 game, going one side or the other.
See, for me, I'm actually with you on the whole 2-1 kind of thing, but I would have been backing PR from the start. VP have been looking a lot better recently, but they're still having troubles here and there. And I don't know if it's really going to be enough to carry them through, because they're looking better, and I'm feeling more confident about VP. But Power Rangers still, for me, they can coordinate nicely, and when they focus, they play amazing Dota. One thing, though, I'm noticing for Power Rangers is it's not their full roster tonight. In fact, let's actually just bring that up right now. Can you check and see the profile of Light to find out who that is?
Yeah, because you're thinking of some other light person?
Yeah, I'm thinking Light of Heaven. But this is the Team Empire roster bringing up on the screen right now for everybody at home. So our 3 Ukrainians and 2 Russians. And actually, I realized I just brought up Team Empire. Whoops! My bad, peoples. My bad. At least you can look at the VirtusPro lineup. We'll come back to the Power Rangers one later. But that's the VirtusPro lineup right there. So the full Russian lineup. Like, well, I didn't think that. There was no Ukrainians here. We'll get the boys from Belarus instead playing. But yeah, that's VirtusPro. And those are the guys, like, Light of Heaven is listed on this roster. But he is, in fact, left VP, as he's now casting full-time over for WePlay. But yeah, I don't know if that... Is that standing Light of Heaven?
It doesn't show in the game. I can't see it right now. It's private profile.
Okay. In that case, I can't check. In that case, it may be Light of Heaven, but yeah, I'll ask the tournament admins to just know, because there is another guy in that I've seen sub for Power Ranger before who's just called Light, and so I don't think it's actually Light of Heaven, but I just want to like double check, and we confirm.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, awesome. Okay, into the drafting time. Let's talk about a game, man. Let's talk about a game. So we got Nyx, Weaver, and Venomancer coming out from Power Rangers. VP have decided to go in with the Disruptor, a Bat Rider, as well as a Crystal Maiden. So my first thoughts when I look at this draft, man, is the fact that Weaver is going to get massively controlled. In the early point of the game by the Disruptor, depending on, obviously, timing, positioning of his ulting and wall, and in the later portion of the game by the Bat Rider.
Yeah, and definitely Lincoln Sphere is going to be very useful in the Reaver, and I presume it's going to be acquired sometime within this game, probably the first item if he's able to get some free farm. But I've seen this VirtusPro lineup before. They have potential to go aggressive. So this Crystal Maiden Disruptor has very high burst damage early on, and in addition with something like just a Gyrocopter or another range or melee hero who has kill potential, this is a very deadly tri-lane. But then again, Power Rangers Venomancer and Reaver, which are very strong tri-laners as well.
I have an answer back from the admins. That is, in fact, Light of Heaven.
Ah, okay.
So it's not the other light that I'm thinking of. But yeah, what flags it is the way he actually writes light, because he has the capital
It's a
T as
bigger
well.
T. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally thought that was an indication of himself, but I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to double check it. So that is in fact Light of Heaven, which is kind of hilarious because he got, I won't say kicked, but he left VirtusPro. So it's the ex-VirtusPro, ex-Na'Vi Light of Heaven currently playing for Power Rangers.
Yeah, he sort of went under the... Ever since he left Navi, he's sort of just been under this tunnel. I haven't seen much of him, but I'm glad to be able to see him right now. And it's going to be an interesting game going against his ex-team.
Well, if you're actually like a Russian viewer, you'll actually know where Light of Heaven's been, because he's been streaming a lot with Vasuda recently, casting for the WePlay boys, who have been doing all the coverage of the TKO series. So Light of Heaven has been out there being pretty busy here and there. I think he still trains his Ukrainian girls team as well.
I see. So he's still playing, still pretty active.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there. All right, so Doombringer is going to come up right now. I'm wondering if they'll end up leaving that for Light of Heaven. That'll be my feeling right now, but that would also mean, like, there's like Weaver offlane or Doom offlane right now, unless they want to switch one of those into the middle to go up against the Bat Rider. And I kind of highly doubt that maybe Weaver up against the Bat Rider will be an okay matchup.
That matchup is decent, but it is sort of still skewed towards the Bat Rider because the second napalm is still very annoying to deal with. But at level 6, Reaver can certainly take control of that lane, or the Bat Rider can as well with the gank.
Yeah, or they throw Nick's Assassin there. He could always just like float around and do some early mana burns against the Bat Rider, but once the bottle's up, obviously that has no effect on the lane whatsoever. But I'm wondering too if Power Rangers are gonna prioritize that Nick's Assassin, put him in the middle lane, get his level 6 up quickly so they can start hunting the Disruptor and the Crystal Maiden. Because that's the one big downside about this VP lineup. Those two heroes can easily be hunted by the Nick's Assassin.
Yeah, and I believe this is going to be a Naga on the 1 played by...
it'll be Illidan.
Illidan, yes. And it'll be NS on the Disruptor and Janima and Crystal Maiden, I believe. NS, I often see NS on the Disruptor, so I presume that's his hero. And then those should be taking the Bat Rider. I don't think that'll be a Bat Rider middle lane, so offlane Bat Rider. So decent lane so far coming up from VirtusPro, but Power Rangers still have the option to either try lane with the next Veno Reaver, or they can solo them and pick something else up for middle. But right now they do sort of lack lockdowns. In fact, they only have 1 stun really, and then they have a Doom for disable, but you can't really count that as a true initiation or disable for them right now.
Oh man, it's I've also just realized the ultimate irony, if it's Light of Heaven, the old offlaner for Na'Vi going up against Arsat, who is the current offlaner for VirtusPro, but the old support player back when Light of Heaven was playing for Na'Vi. Just irony. Small irony. Nothing much more.
Yeah. Navi. I still like the old Navi much better than the current Navi. I was a big fan of them. With the old TI1, TI2 roster. What's your favorite Navi, Toby?
My favorite Na'Vi?
Yeah, since there's like 3 lineups of them with TI1, TI2, and then
TI1 was fun. TI2 was a little bit more unstable. This current Na'Vi, I think, is probably the best Na'Vi that's been out
strongest.
So far. Yeah. It's just the coordination between the 2 supports which just outshine everything. And then, like, the offlaner, Funnick, originally I wasn't quite sure about him, like, because he switched from Team Empire, where he was amazing on the offlane. Absolutely amazing. And then he came to Na'Vi, and everything just seemed to fall apart. And I was like, wait, Funnick, you're not the awesome source, which I remember you being. But he seems to settle himself down and find a role that works for him now. And Avorst and Dandy have been consistent throughout. And Avorst has stopped feeding as much. So it's great.
It's great. So for some games, can't say for all. Illidan, okay, yep. So it does look like.
Yeah,
VirtusPro
it's a mid-solo Wind Ranger going up against the Nyx Assassin. So Bat Rider off lane, but I'm pretty sure Power Ranger going to mix this one up. I don't know if they're going to go full aggressive try with this because Light of Heaven is a Doombringer by himself on that off lane. I'm very wary about. If you put a Venomance of Weaver on the off lane, Nyx in the mid, and then Enchantress and Doombringer down that bottom lane, I think that might be a little bit better here for Power Rangers.
I personally think Power Rangers needs to dodge this tri-lane that VirtusPro might throw at them because this Naga net into double nukes from the supports is going to instant kill this Venomancer or the Reaver for that matter because they can glimpse them back and Saguchi cooldown's too long on lower levels. So I'm not sure how much Enchantress is going to be helpful when there's a Crystal Maiden on the other side. Every time you come with a creep, it's just going to get frozen. So PR has to be really careful about this aggressive tri-lane because it's going to be very deadly. And the Bat Rider will also have a huge advantage over the Doombringer 1-versus-1 scenario as well. So none of the lanes were really favorable for them.
Yeah, that's so I kind of feel like PR have to go for some semi-form of dodge, or even if it is like a full-on level 1 fight, that might be another way to get around it. Because the level 1's not bad, because whenever you got Venomancer Gale, your level 1 is not bad. But if PR smoke up, move into the dire side jungle, maybe block up those camps, stop it from Bat Rider being able to be stacked up, and then just burst farm it up, might be where I would head with this PR lineup. But you are right, like the lanes, in comparison to what VP are capable of doing, they have a lot more risk. A lot more risk to them.
Yeah. And these are some nice cute little hairs outfits from the VirtusPro female characters. I don't know if you're looking at...
What have we...
We have the inscribed Blue Heart Tails from the Crystal Maiden, and then the Rune Ranger.
Well, the Wind Ranger does like the Viking, kind of like the Northern Wind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly. I haven't seen those outfits, but staying on topic. So we see that the Reavers and Venomancer Enchantress has transformed to bottom lane, so, and the Doombringers. I mean, maybe he's just staying for the beginning, but those items to me signals me that this is a jungle Doombringer. And luckily, this is a offlane Bat Rider versus them, so this will be actually end up pretty well for PR. Otherwise, they would have a jungle Doom while the Bat Rider has a free farm lane at top lane, and then you have 3 heroes versus your basically dual lane as well.
It's very unconventional for VP to do this kind of thing. Like, if they pick a lineup with like Naga Disruptor as well as CM, it's not like them to go safe and throw this Bat Rider on the off lane. It's especially considering the lane advantage they could have got straight from the start. Like Line of Heaven going up against Illidan on that top lane. That's kind of okay. It's not going to be amazing for Light, but it's not going to be horrible.
The battle begins.
Yeah, and right now we see rune spawning. It's going to be a top haste rune, so it's Light of Heaven. Might try to harass middle a little bit, but I don't think it'll get too much out of this. But for this middle matchup, Nyx Assassin versus Rune Ranger, this is going to be the real deal, because at the early level, Nyx Assassin is going to get, I would say, out CS slightly hard by the Rune Ranger, but during the middle stages of this lane, probably around 5-6 minute mark, Rune Ranger is going to have a very difficult time trying to lane, because an impale into mana burn will almost drop Rune Ranger to sub 20% health. And Doombringer decides to screw the Crystal Maiden at first.
Yeah, CM was wanting to have that big Wild Wing. That would have been some easy farm. So Light of Heaven honestly get a haste rune, which allows him to move up towards the top lane. But in fact, he's going to abandon the off lane straight away. He doesn't want to even face up against Illidan. He's just going straight into the jungle.
Yeah, and with this big camp warded by NS, yeah, this would be the right call, because he wouldn't be getting that much golden experience off of top, because this Crystal Maiden would not be jungler right now if Doom was top. He would just be dedicated to zone out the Doom. And a jungle Doom actually surprisingly farms really fast. I personally do this in matchmaking a lot, and you can easily farm a Hannah Midas 7 minutes in, which is a lot quicker than the normal Prophet jungle and Enigma jungle.
Mm-hmm. Well, for now, we keep things chilled. Moon on this bottom lane. I'm interested to see if he even feels enough pressure to go into Tranquil Boots. Because right now for the Weaver, he could just wait it out, go straight to the ring, go straight into the Lincoln Sphere, and then have a good timing. Saw Jules say that earlier today, and he was walking around 22 minutes in with like Lincoln Sphere and Desolator up and running. So it was a very early mark time for a Weaver to start fighting. I wonder if Moon also feels in a bit of a hurry to get that Linken's, because there are so many things from VP that can trigger that out. That's why I was thinking maybe you consider the BKB to try and protect himself as well from that Disruptor ultimate.
Yeah, but there's still Flaming Lasso, which will go through the BKB, so regardless, he really still needs a Linken Sphere for the most part. But right now, Moon is left to solo bottom lane, but he has opted not to go for a Magic Stick, which I think it's a huge mistake, because he would be able to spam out the Sakuchi and actually zone out this Batrider instead of having an even footing against him right now.
You're right, because now Smile has no hesitation whatsoever, but then again, when you do that kind of harassment onto Smile, you force him back, force him to use the salve. He's only got one shared Tango left to use on this Batrider. So, while he doesn't have the stick, he's still been able to successfully harass Smile out of the lane.
Yeah, that he'll do, but Arzard is still getting a lot of experience, and he can always fair regen when he needs them, but he's not completely getting zoned out. The middle lane, it's actually going, it's pretty even for the most part right now. It's 10-14 with 7 denies from Ranger, like I expected of slight advantage from Ranger, but it's not as big as I thought it would be.
Well, top lane man should probably send your eyes up there, because right now the tier 1 tower is being whittled away, and Light of Heaven doesn't look like he has any intention of coming up to this top lane to defend it.
He'll probably come rotate a... PR will probably rotate a support or the Doombringer once the tier 2 is starting to get attacked. But this tier 1, yeah, it's going to get completely abandoned. There's not too much they can do to defend this anyways. If anything, they'll just send someone up there to sack some experience. But this Batrider is just harassing his Enchantress jungle, and Enchantress has opted to go for 2 levels in Untouchable, which is sort of unorthodox. I haven't really seen much Enchantress opt to go 0 in Nature's Attendance.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't note the in the Enchantress's hairdo, because she's looking wonderful with the flowers.
Yeah,
top lane movement. Illidan's looking pretty damn low. J4's on his way with an Invis rune as well. The Static Blast, and they get the stun up the hill. Nicely done there by Power Rangers, just catching VP a little bit too far out. And the first blood spilt by the Nyx Assassin. Well, that's worth the rotation up, and they get the carry.
Yeah, but the tower did go down for PR, and Naga Siren has opted to not buy anything with 1,200 gold saved. This really makes me think this is a very fast Radiance rush. And I've seen the horrors of an early Radiance. You can actually just farm the whole entire enemy map and without any danger of your hero. And you can easily farm up to 700-800 GPM at about the 25-minute mark if done properly.
Well, as if it's done properly, kind of dying isn't really the done properly kind of thing. But
yeah, he's not having the best early start. He should be having a 40 CS for complete free farm, but he is missing a little bit because he's tried to push that tower very early on. But speaking of CS, Reaver only has 13 and decides to go for a Hanamitis, so he'll be getting that soon. But
middle lane. Have a look towards Sergey. Unfortunately, they don't have a trap on him, so one quick poison is not really going to be enough. But another poison up in the hill, and that poison sting and then into the Gale. That'll be enough to get the Centaurs close enough, but then with a Shackle, it holds the Venomancer there with the Centaur. Jotum did come in close, but with one of the Centaurs keeling over, PR decided it's not worth diving any deeper into the Dioside jungle.
Yeah, and that just seems like a very unorthodox gank from PR because the Venomancer was not actually leading. Enchantress was leading with 2 Centaur creeps, so the Venomancer didn't actually hit the Gale, and top rune spawn's going to be haste for Nyx Assassin, but he does not get to bottle this, unfortunately.
If he was able to do that, you could just fully regenerate up your mana and then get back out and fight. But for the moment, there's finally a level up in Nature's Attendance for FNG, and he needed it with only 145 life points. One person we haven't even talked about yet is Light of Heaven. He's sitting there inside the jungle, and he's already past level 6 minutes in, with what appears to be a decent amount of farm. He's got basically face boost if he wants to buy him up right now.
Yeah, but he's going to opt for the Hanamitis, I'm pretty sure as well. But he should have the glove to boost his attack speed for farming in the jungle. And he's about to hit the 8-minute 8.5-minute Midas timing that I was speaking of. So we'll see that soon enough. But Naga Siren, yeah, he's definitely going for the Radiance Rush. 2,300 gold saved. Yeah.
And you're seeing the opposite from the Weaver. Like the Hand of Midas up on Moon. He's just slowly making his farm. Like obviously Weaver's Weaver Radiance Rush is a thing of the very, very far past. But you're seeing what Moon wants to do at least. He knows in the later portion of this game, he can beat almost anybody apart from the Naga. Like, that'll be the primary problem for VP, would be the Naga. But he knows that he can hunt down the Batrider, the CM, the Disruptor, as well as the Wind Ranger if he can get a really good start in his farm, which he has. And the Hand of Midas is just propelling him forward.
Yeah. But the thing is, about Naga carry is that it's impossible to really kill a farm Naga at the later stages of the game with a Lincoln Sphere and a 60-second panic button, I like to say, that you can always trigger. So you'd have to be, PR has to be very careful of this mid-game. If they fall behind too drastically, I don't think they can really make a comeback to really beat a Naga late game because of the fact that they will never actually be able to engage in a favorable position, but middle lane we're seeing
even if you're running a Doombringer, because that's kind of like where I would throw out the question mark, say if PR can come back, because that Doom can change fights completely. Illidan can get locked in, just like this top lane. They're going to come in here, and he's going to Doom Illidan straight away. Before that will happen, the Glimpse in fact takes Light of Heaven out of range of Illidan's ultimate, and now he's going to TP out of here, and he'll be protected the entire way through. NS maybe not so much.
He still has the kinetic field. He should be A-okay. But this is what I'm talking about. This panic button, there's nothing really you can do as PR. Once the panic button is hit, there is no killing the Naga, especially when there's Lincoln Sphere. You have to proc that Lincoln's with a specific spell, but top lane, hold on to that thought. We might see a kill.
Yeah, they just decide to turn, smoke it up a little bit. But they've got to make sure they got the opening. They want Light of Heaven dead is the primary goal right now. But NS, okay, he's got Glimpse, so he's going to drag Light back, but it's a little bit too early on the Glimpse, but he had no other choice because actually they weren't losing vision, but he was probably losing range. It's only a level 3 Glimpse.
Yeah, and Nyx Assassin was spotted out rotating the top, so PR should not be able to get any kills in return unless VirtusPro decides to stay and possibly get baited.
Well, you got Sergey moving into a position where he possibly could die. These Naga Illusions, though, are still sitting around the side. He doesn't want to trigger off the Vendetta, knowing how low that cooldown low the duration time is. And they put down a sentry ward behind the lines too. So if someone does come up, they'll know about it. But this attack can come on 3 different sides. Like even NS, he's sitting down there next to the secret shop right now.
Yeah.
Or the side shop, sorry.
They're definitely prepared to fight, but meanwhile, Arzard is very close to his Blink Dagger. He's only 200 gold away, and he's waiting for the rune to spawn, possibly. Maybe he'll last all on the cliff, force a time lapse, but no.
At least force Moon out of it. No, the DD rune gets bolted up by Nyx Assassin instead, coming down the top.
Yeah, and Light of Heaven's actually rushing Shadow Blade, which is quite surprising because Doombringer's mana pool is very limited, and when you run this Shadow Blade, in combination with this 300 mana pool that he has, he's not going to be able to cast Level Death at all.
See, I understand the reason why though, and you saw it up on the top lane. Like, he tried to come in and instantly hit onto the Naga Siren. Naga triggered off the ultimate, and the only way to get in close enough to hit that Naga before she gets her ulti off or any other kind of ability is by having the Shadow Blade. So it's not even for the walk-up kind of hit. If you have that, then you just attack onto a hero like a Crystal Maiden. But yeah, it's mainly meant to shut down the Naga. They're looking as Doombringer to counter up the Naga Siren in the late game, and that'll give the Weaver space to attack.
But the problem with that is that they're always going to carry sentries because PR has a Nyx Assassin, so they're always going to be wary of that to begin with. So I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. But
they're not really wary of that Nyx Assassin right now. They'll walk under the tower. Jordan will not survive that at all. A DD here with Vendetta, and then Moon attacking him from the front end while the tier 1 tower goes down as well. Wow, that's 1 dead CM.
Yeah, this is a... Relic is out for Naga Siren, so she should be able to pick up around a 14-minute, not Hand Midas, sorry, Radiance, and after that, I probably would see Naga farming the whole Radiant jungle and the bottom lane, right now.
Sergey, yep, dead. Chikuchi threw him, And again, Nyx Assassin able to get himself a kill. They started with the stun, and all this was set up by that observer ward that was sitting over the top of the tier 1 tower in mid for the Radiant side. So they just waited for him.
Yeah, that was very good by this Nyx Assassin rotation. He got 2 kills off that rotation on bottom, but haste respawns top lane, and he's about to get it as well. So we should see more plays coming out from him shortly.
And I don't think it's not going to be given to the Nyx. Light's moved over to fill up his bottle, and he looked towards another lane. But meanwhile, on bottom lane, Weaver, well, he's been held inside the Disruptor ulti. He's got to get himself out of range of that for him to time-lapse out. But it's just not possible, so they use both Lasso as well as Disruptor ultimate, while Light of Heaven is waiting for Illidan just around the tree line.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to kill him himself. He's scared of some sort of support rotation, but he's rotating middle right now. We might see a team fight. Ooh, great deny.
Yeah, Sergey. It was a bit more of a chancing to see if he'd hit that. With Venomancer wards as well as all the attack from PR, we got a glimpse back into a wall on J4. They put up the Spike Carapace, but that's why only a Shackle was thrown. There's no extra stuns. But Smile is backing up. As Nyx now has his Blink Dagger coming out in the Courier, so J4's got initiation from his end too now.
And we see Doombringers cutting off of the Naga possibly, but let's see if this is going to be successful.
He's going to run up. He runs west.
No. See, Light of Heaven rotated right there in that direction. Okay, I don't know. That always happens. And he thought he was spotted, so he pinged out for enemy wards, but there is no wards. So we might see some sort of PR outplaying themselves because they think there's a ward there. But hold on to that thought. Top lane, we see a smoke.
And it's going to come with now a Naga ultimate. Hold him in position. J4 is trying to get there as quickly as possible. There's a lasso over on the Venomancer. They're using both the Spike Carapace as well as the Impale Stun to bring him down. But again, the Weaver on the sidelines. Veno got a good ulti off to ensure that at least Sergey's locked there in Light of Heaven. Then he's sent back by the Glimpse. That's a long way back as well. While ZXC is being hunted by Nyx Illusions. And now they just turn on J4, but that's going to be it. They only lose 1 for 1, Weaver for the Batrider.
Yeah, I think was Radiance just picked up? Yeah, Radiance recipe was just picked up by Illidan, so the 14-minute Radiance is finally online for him. And yeah, like I said, he's just going to be farming this bottom lane while PR is probably going to try to rotate, but by the time they rotate the bottom, Naga will be already rotated back into their jungle. It's just going to be very difficult to try to control this Naga at this point. But they still have to try their best because you cannot let a Naga continue to free farm a Radiance. That's just way too greedy of a thing for VirtusPro to do.
Well, man, I don't know about you, but I've been keeping a very close eye on the Doombringer. Trying to see him go in for a combination, and you are right. Like, he's burned through his mana so quickly that there's just nothing left. And he doesn't have a CM or anything along these lines. But he keeps trying to Shadow Blade and find an opening, but Light of Heaven keeps finding nobody. He's moved through top lane, moved through mid lane, moved through bot lane, and there's just been no joy.
Yeah, and we see this interesting build coming from Naga Siren currently because she's skilling multiple points into stats instead of any Riptides or Ensnare. So we're going to see a very farm-heavy Naga Siren. Yeah, she's no joke about the farm. Because when you skill stats like this indicates that you want to farm till you're like level 16, 17. Then you start skilling your Ensnare, Riptide. But until then, we're probably going to see VirtusPro trying to only get pickoffs for the Batrider and completely avoid fights at all costs. And as we see right now, Naga Siren Illusions is already on bottom lane. And there's not much the Reaver can do. He's going to get completely zoned out by these Illusions. Can't even contest.
Look what he also tried to build in to start with. He doesn't even have the basic health regeneration of the Perseverance. It's like he's trying to rush. It shouldn't be a death so, but he's getting the extra damage out and then going into the BKB for the Weaver.
Yeah, I think I understand why he wants to get the BKB, because the sleep initiation into the Disruptor ulti is going to completely lock him down. So he realizes that after dying twice already to that combo. So he needs a BKB so he can be able to time-lapse as soon as the combo hits. But he might go down.
Smile doesn't have the speed to get there. You'll see him in the tree line, but that's why time-lapse back over. But there's a sentry ward, and watch him glimpse the other way. Moon will actually go into the Firefly. and end up dying. Now that's just not. That's just I won't say unlucky, but bouncing across the jungle like that, you can't prepare to fight in those kind of situations.
Yeah, and we see a tower push in the meanwhile for PR top lane. So they basically traded their hard care for tower, but right now their tower's under siege, and it doesn't look like they want to defend it either. So it's going to actually be a 1-for-1 and a hero kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yep.
under attack.
Nothing like trading with trade 40 minutes, 17 minutes in. Kind of feels that long when you play this kind of passive early style Dota. This isn't what we're used to for Russian Dota. This is a lot more passive style timing.
Yeah, and I see that there are a lot of idle illusions coming up from Illidan right now, and I've seen this multiple times already. So I'm pretty sure he's not too good of a micro person in playing this farm heavy Naga, where you put one illusion in each lane or camp, and it's gonna really reduce his farm. Like he should have like probably 500 more gold if he has micro properties, but right now we see bottom jungle engagement.
Ooh, Naga has threw out the ultimate. They want to kill up the Weaver, and wait, what is this? What is this? That's a bailout of a big mistake.
Yeah. It sort of forces well. When your hard carry is gone on like that with a disruptor ulti, there is no escape from him. So you have to just mass teleport to make sure you prevent the hard carry from dying. But it does come at a cost. They can just simply escape and nothing will occur. Just like that, what we just saw.
Batrider searching for a kill in Line of Heaven right now.
Shadowblade is online, so he should be fine. But Batrider's Force Staff should be online pretty soon. And after that, I would like to see a gem pickup so he can actually lasso those 3 invisibility heroes on PR.
I like how Cross the Maiden is also getting a little bit of help right now. Send a Naga illusion up. I'm wondering if they shared unit control. So Jodam is able to control up the Naga illusions.
Yeah, it does seem like Illidan needs a little bit help on the micro side because he probably doesn't play this too often, as we don't see carry Naga at all in the competitive scene. At least not for a while since the Alliance phase where they always picked it.
Miracle tried to bring it back for a short time with Titan, but that was almost as far as it went. J4 is on the hunt. With this Observer Ward, like he can see Jodam farming up, and what a ton to put a Sentry Ward. Which means Blink, Lasso, there was no Spy Carrots up here from J4, and now he gets it off, but it's already going to be too late. Throws a stun and misses all 3 heroes.
Yeah, trying to land the next Impale is really hard when they're sticking Napalm, especially with how narrow that Impale really is. And we see, as Nahas has indicated, Boots of Travel and Naga Siren. So I presume his next item is going to be Manta style into probably a Diffusal Blade or some other greedy item choice of his.
Well, I wouldn't want a Manta because he needs life points over on this Naga. Middle lane, they're jumping in, and there's your BKB. Already going off from Moon. The Naga sleep didn't protect him from that, so Moon is freely able to move around this fight. But now with both Disruptor ulti as well as that wall up, Enchantress gets destroyed. Crystal Maiden's ulti with a power shot was enough to kill her off. But they lose the Crystal Maiden and the Batrider in a return for that.
Yeah, and I think that was an okay trade for VP. Like they lost his sleep, but there's nothing much going to come out of this 2 kills for PR. They can't really siege this tower with the way how Reaver has built his items. The BKB is on cooldown. That's his only survivability item right now. And on top of that, he doesn't have any DPS item.
Oh, light.
NS.
He's committing. Of course, now with NS, he's got no haste. Illidan's going to come in just to ensnare and keep Line of Heaven away. But that Doom should tick NS out, and that's the reason why Naga Siren stays with him and holds until the end and then puts him out of his misery.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Light of Heaven wouldn't have killed NS right there because NS had 81 health and a tick was going to be 37.5. And it was only 3 ticks left. I think he might have actually... No, 2 ticks left. I think he might have survived there. But right now...
Well, Light of Heaven, they need vision of him if they want to try and kill him off. They need a gem over on the Batrider.
Yeah,
I know Naga, yeah. I can understand both of them. Like, Naga Siren just creates illusion after illusion, so you're able to scout out in so many different locations. And at the same time, Batrider is the man who jumps in, so he needs that vision on the front lines.
Yeah, we see cutesy little play, Enchantress stealing the Naga illusion. It's actually farming up very quickly for her. but we see VP quickly retreating to defend both the top lane and middle lane. So I don't think too much will happen right now.
When Naga can be turned against you. I mean, like if you also had an SD over in the lineup of PR with that Enchantress.
Lasso middle lane?
Yeah, they're searching for him, but they don't need to lasso him up. They know they got the kill.
Yeah. And right now, PR is getting picked off quite a bit, and this is going to continue to happen for the rest of the game. They really need to try to make something happen, because the higher this level Naga gets, the more often she's going to be able to cast Sleep. And as
like
we see right now...
Double TP's coming on top of Moon. There's NS now going to arrive, puts down the ulti, puts up the wall. There's even going to be a quick shot with a power shot from the Wind Ranger.
Yeah. There was really no escape right there. Even if Reaver had BKB, the kinetic field, you still can't walk out. And then there's going to be a net after you BKB and time lapse as well. So
it's like there's no joy for a Weaver. I cast a game earlier on today where there was very little that would even control a Weaver. But as you said, like you got the Disruptor Already kinetic field, you got Ensnare from Naga with the ultimate from that, you got Lasso on top of that, you got Shackles, and then you got a Frostbite. If VP want any more kind of disables, they would, well, they can't. They'll have to buy a size device.
Yeah, and Naga just picked up the Ultimate Orb, so I think he's opting for the Manta style.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see a Scotty, but
nah,
Lincoln Sphere.
It'll be Manta. We're going to drag back right now on FNG, so again, we see the Enchantress getting killed off in that middle lane. But for now, I'd say it's the Ultimate Orb, so we've at least got the life points to survive during the fight. The downside about whenever you rush up Radiances is just you've got nothing to survive with. So
actually,
Ultimate Orb is best.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Lincoln Sphere pickup, actually, because there is a Doombringer on the other side, and on top of that, there's really no reason for you to buy an Ultimate Orb over Yasha, especially when you're farming with Naga. The illusion movement speed from the Yasha is critical, because the faster you move from camp to camp, the more farm you're actually going to get. And we're going to see what he actually picks up in a little bit, but my money's on Lincoln Sphere.
Well, with that kind of logic, man, I almost agree with you. Something a little unusual coming out from Moon. So we're not seeing a Desolator from the Weaver, we're seeing a Maelstrom instead. Yeah,
the Maelstrom actually doesn't trigger on the second attack, so this is going to be interesting pickup trying to kill the illusions with. I'm not sure how effective it will be. I personally have never picked up a Maelstrom on a Reaver before, but Maelstrom is very good for farming and DPS purposes.
I don't think there's many people that would have ever picked up this, man. It's crazy. I can understand you're looking for DPS, but over the top of a Deso, over the top, you know, also do what is basically split pushing with a Weaver. You can get rid of the creep wave just that little bit faster, but you don't get rid of the towers much faster. And now with the tower trade-off, VP are going to take out the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. And Nagasaran, I think he was considering going on ZXC, but it's a bit of a trade-off. There's a glimpse back on the bottom lane, and there's the wall up. Venomanta with the ulti being thrown out, but these illusions are right in the back of him. So the Radiant Burn will do his job there. Naga TP's out under the cover of her own sleep. And Enchantress dead again here in the middle lane. VP's having a really good game. As the courier ends up dying here in the middle lane. The Moon, he's going to time-lapse out. He picks up the Crystal Maiden, as well as taking out that courier of the Dire side. But it already delivered the Manta style, so I don't think he's going to be too mindful of it.
And Naga actually decides to pick up the Manta, so I was wrong in the end. But I personally would like to see him pick up the Yasha first next time over the Ultimate Orb. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
It's the only thing is split push farm is what it makes sense with. Like you can do it with mirror images, you can do it with Manta style illusions. That's the only thing that really like flags for me as well. But I agree with you. Like Lincoln Sphere, when you're going up against someone like a Doombringer, it is really essential. Light of Heaven's also not Light of Heaven. There's a hunt currently for Moon. And it's coming out from the Bat Rider. If Smile goes into Firefly right now, he'll see Moon. In fact, he sees him anyway. Blink, lasso, and because there's no Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't have to waste the Force Staff to trigger the Lincoln Sphere. So they just jump in, slide in position, take the kill, and now 1 minute on the sidelines for the Weaver.
Yeah. And we see Light of Heaven actually opt to go back for a drum, and it actually has 4,000 gold right now as well. And the drum was actually, I personally really like the drum purchase. I always do it because you need the intelligence that it gives you to really cast all your spells and cast the Shadow Blade on top of that as well. But right now, I don't know what Light of Heaven's trying to get. He has 4,000 gold saved.
See, for me with Light of Heaven and this kind of lineup, you'd almost want him to go into something like an Assault Cuirass. But I don't know if that'll be what PR need. Like PR need a tank on the front lines basically, because the rest of their lineup doesn't really do that. And he's going to go into a BKB instead. I suppose that allows him to tank up on the front lines to an extent.
Yeah, but the Riptide will really rip through him because he'll have basically 0 armor.
Yeah.
And the Naga Illusions deals a lot of damage as well.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was hoping he'd go into the Assault Cuirass, but seems BKB is his poison of choice. We've got Sergey down here on the bottom lane with Batrider. They are so close, and in fact now they got one. ZXC's been dragged back in range of the Crystal Maiden, so a Nova, a Flame Break. He'll get the ulti off, which means there's going to be a couple of Impetuses, but Disruptor ulti and then the wall. FNG's trapped in here. J4 comes in, but he's trying to get the stun off, but he also walked into the Disruptor ultimate. And Crystal Maiden, a little bit too much damage. I'm hearing Naga sleep a little bit further down, but we're going to stick with J4, who's been dragged back. His stun goes completely astray, and the gem is also now on the deck. Yeah, okay, now, yeah. Sergey will take the gem. So stealing it from Power Rangers, which means VP now have a double gem. One on the Wind Ranger, one on the Naga Siren. Also to point out too, guys, in a couple of minutes' time, I'll be doing the Dota 2 Lounge giveaway. So definitely load up your web pages. It's dota2lounge.com/giveaway. Rather obvious. And I'll be reading out the 4 digits in a moment. So for tuning in on the live stream right now, we'll be giving away 4 codes, and if you are the first person to put the codes in, you'll end up walking away with 10 rares. That's how simple it is. So we do 2 giveaways here on the live stream, and then for those, yeah, you go, there it is, up on the screen right there. Yeah. So we'll also be putting it up in, I'll be putting up on my Facebook later on tonight for the 3rd code. That way we do 2 for people who are watching the live stream, and then we have 1 for people who follow us casters.
Casters? Am I included in that pile?
I suppose we could put the code over on your Twitter or Facebook.
Ooh, that sounds great, Toby.
Would be nice.
Be nice.
Been showing too much love to code casters though. We're gonna treat you mean and keep you keen.
Aww. So it's sort of keep your wife sort of on her heels sort of thing, huh?
Well, what's the joke? You shouldn't refer to your girlfriend as your current girlfriend, because it suggests you're looking for an upgrade.
Upgrade? Outgrade, you mean? No, I'm just kidding.
Outgrade? What's outgrade it? What?
Have you seen those Liquid tweets about outgrades? It's kind of silly, but...
No, I haven't.
Alright, let's give it a take a look at it. But right now we see Roshan attempt from VirtusPro right now. And this is not going to be a temp. It's going to be easy cleanup for them. With this 3 levels in Focus Fire, it's going to die very quickly.
And you have that, and it was also because they're being pushed out so hard in the bottom lane. That D3 tower's down half of its life points, man. Moon was the man down there to defend it.
Yeah, and we see a rotation coming out from PR, but it's completely spotted about this ward. It's going to be a Naga sleep into a complete disastrous team fight. I mean, I don't really see how they can really take it.
They're not. They're backing up. They're backing up.
They might not even know Roshan's happening because they're positioning so poor. Right now, if PR engages, I mean, VP
okay, the 4-staff into the sleep, and you've only got, well, you got 2 heroes here. ZXC and J4. Disruptor can't catch both of them out, so we just focus on J4, but the 4-staff out just in time. There's a lot of impetus damage coming from FNG on the side, and VP have already lost 2 heroes. The Doom is over on Sergey, so he just has to stand his ground. Now Illidan, he'll actually have the Agassi Maul trigger off. J4 back into the fight, snaps back the Crystal Maiden. Now Illidan trying to run away. Their only upside right now is the fact that there is little to no mana left on the Power Rangers lineup. But this Enchantress has now picked up a triple kill. The stun is balled up there from J4. If they had that, maybe they can get themselves back in range. And he's using the Spike Carapace into a mana burn. And now J4's going to bail out here. He'll die to the burn. That Gale is being used to keep him away while the Creep Wave is also looking to attack onto him. But J4 will get himself out to safety. And what was that sleep into a disastrous fight?
They've really messed up the kinetic field.
Sneyking, dead.
Oh man, where is this?
He tried to block him off with the Plague Wards, and he was just battling up against Naga Illusions on the bottom lane.
Yeah. I saw that at the end. But I want to talk about that fight. What really went wrong for VirtusPro? So you saw the Disruptor ulti go down the Nyx Assassin, right? In the kinetic field. But the thing is, they canceled the sleep too soon. The kinetic field didn't actually go off before the 4-stab Nyx Assassin did. So he actually casted every single spell and survived in that team fight where he should have just died off the bat. So that was a real difference maker with a complete Disruptor ulti that was useless. And with the fact that Nyx Assassin basically just killed Rune Ranger from the start, and on top of that, Rune Ranger got doomed after the Nyx Impale and Mana Burn canceled the Lincolns. So Naga is still survived through that fight despite losing Lincolns. But he's well on his way to get what I would assume. Ooh, okay, I was gonna say Diffusal Blade, but he's gonna go for the Butterfly route instead.
This is full carry, man. This is full carry to a point of like almost insane amounts of money going to complete waste, but yeah, he's getting to a point where he just wants to be unkillable. Because if you start sending like evasion creeps up towards that high ground with a full butterfly up and running, a heart, you just send mana style, so you're just like making copies and copies and copies and copies and finding kills after kills. You're gonna have no trouble whatsoever. And in the meantime, you get the rest of the VP lineup. Batrider. He dies to Moon over on the side, but they're going to throw the ulti out the Enchantress. They're going to get revenge for the 3 kills from before. Disruptor will take it. The Shackle of the Light of Heaven, but he'll break free with the BKB, while Moon try and chase down Sergey. J4 also jumping in. Going to be getting those stuns out.
Yeah.
Naga Cyrus, the primary goal with that Spike Carapace, but time-lapse, glimpse, wall is up, and Light of Heaven couldn't get out in time. The power shot's well off target. The Shackle won't be able to launch, but in comes Batrider, dragging J4 back. Naga Cyrus managed to kill the Doombringer. Then Batrider through the Nyx Assassin, and they're not looking to stop here. They want to see if they can catch out more, but the rest of PR are backing up. And now VP will show their pushing power down the mid. Let Illidan tank it, and they just take tower after tower.
Yeah, and it's just pretty poor decision for them to take the fight after Enchantress went down. And as long as you commit or try to save the Enchantress, someone's going to get glimpsed back because that's how glimpse naturally works. So you have to be decisive on whether you try to save the teammate or not, because when you try to save a teammate, you're committed to fight. There's no running when there's a Disruptor on the other team unless you have massive BKBs, and whoever gets glimpsed is just BKBs. Otherwise, it's going to be complete waste and you're going to be sacking more heroes than you need to be.
That safety TP from Illidan. I suppose when your sleep is on a 1-minute cooldown, you just don't care.
Yeah, you can just click it as much as you like.
And PR now moved out. They've got 4 people all the way down the mid, while J4 back at base walking out. He's trying to get himself into a BKB at the moment, but the bottom lane is being pushed out by God. He needs a little bit more time to finish up that farming of the Scythe of Ice. He's already got an Ultimate Orb and the Mystic Staff up on him. So just a couple of 100 gold and he's there. While NS is holding out the middle lane. And Illidan's gone back into farm. He'll just buy the full butterfly right now. But while we're waiting for PR to push in fully, chat trivia time. So only 4 heroes built Scythe of Ice more times than Wind Ranger, which is 62 and 6.79 in Pro Dota 2 matches. Who are they? So before the changelog, who built more Scythes of Ice? I'm going to go on Nature's Prophet as number 1.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah.
And that intimate solo heroes who would often purchase Obsidian's Destroyer, Storm Spirit, I would say, and let me think. For the last one, who would it be?
I'm not sure myself, dude.
Puck. Those I'm pretty confident on those 3.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain.
So we take 3 in the mid and 1 on the off. Will be our suggestions, but guys, you got a couple of moments to check out and see what you want to say at home. Play it with your friends, do a tuning around the live stream. See what you can come up with. Bottom lane push is now coming in. So we've got the Manda Illusions, the Mirror Images coming in first. Now the Manda Illusions will also come in. And one of them with the Lincoln Spears. They're trying to bait out the extra stuns and the attacks, but really not having any kind of effect. And sorry, I said Lincoln. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they put the wind range in Lincoln's Vero for an illusion. But you can't trigger that Lincoln's. Oh, close. Forgot Invoker.
Invoker?
Invoker instead of Storm. You only had 49 on Storm.
I guess I'm watching too much Chinese, but I guess the Western team pick a lot more Invoker. But yeah, I personally thought the Storm Spirit was going to be more prevalent. Yeah, Orchid into the later sheet, but I guess the games are over once the Storm. Usually have an Orchid early on.
Yeah, you get to a point when you got to double disable. Enchantress keeps stealing these Radiant illusions, but they keep coming in so hard. That range Rax has almost gone down. And I also love the focus here of VP. They're sending them in just to attack onto the range Rax because they realize that that thing doesn't have regeneration. So it's simple enough for the illusions to get rid of, and you're trying to battle against evasion as well as that many life points. Good luck. I wish him luck.
Yeah, and it is up to PR to force a fight because VP can just chip away these towers and Raxes without any casualty. And this is going to keep happening until they decide to take a fight.
Well, you see J4 and Light of Heaven, they're out here trying to search for exactly that. Like blinking up, well, smoke's going to be revealed. But Light of Heaven into the Shadow Blade, and they're forced off the way. But Naga throws the ulti out, and they're going to see, well, not the two of them, because Light of Heaven will remain here. But again, they put down the ulti, the wall, and then the Bat Rider lassos up Light of Heaven. Disruptor is almost just making a filter, so PR can't follow through. But that Hex from Sergey going to work. BKB from Moon trying to evade that shackle from God, and successful. In fact, he turns around to get that kill over on him. While FNG burning in the fire and the flames, Illidan will come down, just add to the flames, and then Naga Siren just denies up the Enchantress. Wait, what? That doesn't work. He used himself. He used the conversion, which he took, and it says he denies himself.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only way that can happen. The only way.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, especially with where he actually ended up dying. But it looked like he just denied himself a Plague Ward. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. I'm confused. Probably have to check the replay on that one or the live stream.
But you can't deny yourself with a Plague, like...
Unless you have some sort of dot on you, which I'm not aware of that VP has.
Nah, I think he just killed himself off with the Naga illusion.
How?
Yeah, you're right, because there is no dot. Like, where is the dot? You're in the middle of Firefly.
I think that might have been a glitch, because I don't think there's a dot that can kill him. Agreed.
I have to go back to the study books. It might be the reason too. While maybe someone in the chat. Well, the players were chatting amongst themselves, trying to work out what the hell just happened. But it did not count as a kill.
Yeah, that was really weird. I'm not sure what actually happened.
But we'll look back at the replay and the break and see if we can work out.
Naga really doesn't care. Take a look at his farm. I mean, 440 CS, 28k net worth. I'm surprised Reaver is actually at 20k net worth. How caught up he has been, despite how far his team has been behind. But this Naga is about to get 6 slotted and drop that gem for a new item. I mean, I'm personally a fan of Diffusal Blade, but I don't know what he's gonna get because every time I try to call an item, it's been wrong on him.
Well, with this Naga Siren, I would wonder too, like, what are we missing right now? The only major big tier 3 item which is kind of missing is an Assault Cuirass. I don't know if Naga is really wanting to go into an AC as well.
Yeah, seems a bit overkill to me on the armor and attack speed. Because the mana burn is very good against the PR heroes. You mana burn the Doom or the Reaver to 0, and then they can't cast any of their spells. And it's not difficult to mana burn them to 0. It takes like 3-4 seconds of just you and your illusion attacks.
Well, they dropped the gem. Weaver bought a Monkey King Bard during this time as well. And we are going to get, as he sits in the tree line, a BT back to base. Damn you, Naga Siren. Is it be full diffusal? Because you can buy it all up from... There you go. Straight to level 2 diffusal. You get your item right this time.
Hell yeah. One out of 6 items I called. I'm just kidding. I called like 2. The Radiance.
But it is right. It's the perfect time to get right now. Especially up against heroes like Weaver or Doombringer. We already talked about Doombringer having a really low mana pool. sitting at 700. So that's obviously not great for him, especially when he's triggering off everything he wants to. And all you need is that Naga to come in with a couple of illusions, and Light of Heaven will be down to no mana, which means no Doom. It means no Shadow Blades, no extra joy for them. But this Weaver's looking to fight up from the top lane. So they're going to see if they can flank themselves around through behind. That's the goal right now of VP.
Illidan's going to be there momentarily.
There's the jump in. J4 got one stun. They got the Doom over as well on that Bat Rider. And look at the DPS coming out. That Weaver is hitting like an absolute truck. Moon's on a double kill right now, and he's got to bring down Illidan. The Monkey King bar is up, so he can hit directly. Another Nick stun. Sergey's locked in position. Illidan, he's still trying to man-fight this one up and have to throw the ulti out. There's no other choice. Are they going to throw CM's ulti? I think they got to, but there's currently an Orchid on her. That doesn't help her. FNG came in and put the Orchid, so she never got her ulti off. And the rest of VP will bail out of here. Sergey is running as quickly as possible, but it's not quick enough.
I think maybe he'll survive.
No, no.
Are you sure, Toby?
Yep. Light of Heaven, where is it? Scorched Earth is on cooldown. Moon's catching up. He doesn't have mana for bugs. 4 stuff away.
Do you know why he doesn't have mana on Reaver right now? Diffusal Blade, baby.
Correct item choice. Number 1, tick box. But FNG, his timing right then. I wonder if, like, VP did look like they just wanted to go in and have a crack as the army of illusions of Naga are pushing at the mid. And there's nothing FNG can do about it. Because he couldn't enchant one yet. Now he can, but it's already too late. They just took melee racks. And Naga is on the other side of the bloody map.
Power Naga. I mean, it's just back to the PL days where you Siege of Illusions. Your hero actually does not have to be there. It's like the ultimate way to siege a base, where your carry's on the other side farming while killing the base.
Oh, see, but that's kind of ridiculous. Like, you just make an army, and look at the speed of the army. It just runs in, can't really stop it, and he's going to do the same thing again on the bottom lane. Like, there's a Venomancer as well as a Doombringer here. So the illusions come in, they Riptide up a little bit, and then they just start doing their DPS. And the stuns, there is 4 heroes being committed to stop this. And the melee wreck still went down by 250 life points.
Yeah, what VP should really do is try to split push them like this, because forcing a fight, as we saw previously, might not be the best idea. But when you can force 4 heroes on the bottom lane and then siege another lane with 4 heroes, that's a guaranteed base damage you're going to be getting in. So I would like to see VP try to do some of these split push shenanigans in the bottom lane.
Naga was even waiting for it. They'll set up a couple of them. But Naga successfully waited next to the Enchantress for him to cast Enchant. And then sent the illusions down. Light of Heaven is not happy. He is not happy at all. I can imagine what's going through his mind right now. Like, what is that? Like, is this even Dota? Is this actually even a Dota ability to do?
And there's no way this Reaver can clear it fast enough, because he has 2 defensive items and a Hand of Midas as well. So he was truly only have 2 DPS items. And when you have a 6-slotted Naga like this, it takes a lot to kill those illusions.
They're coming out for another 5 PR. 2 from behind, 3 from the front. Venomancer Ward Wall is trying to keep him out as the impetuses are being used to try and get rid of the Naga.
We see a flank.
Oh no! Oh no! Even with the BKB, Light of Heaven, he's stuck there. CM throws the ulti and PR just explode on the top. Easiest prep, but a 5-man wipe will give the official GG call. And VirtusPro will take the victory here in the D2CL for at least game number 1. This is, of course, a best of 3, so stay tuned. We will be coming back with our next game while you're here in the break. If you are tuning in from the live stream, then if you wanted to, you could also be watching from inside the game and supporting the tournament. We have over $100,000 prize money for this tournament. $50,000 put up by our wonderful sponsors, and the rest of it comes from you guys, the community, so props to you all. You can get yourself a free punch set, but for every ticket you purchase is $2.50 USD that goes into the prize pool. So an awesome sum of money coming the way of the players too, because it all goes into the prize pool, so the players get all the juicy parts of it all. So yeah, stay tuned, peoples. Go purchase a ticket, and we'll see you back here on the Join Dota Daily Motion live stream in just a couple of moments' time.